Welcome back, everyone. Duval here with another video for you guys today. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a stock review, a stock analysis over Activision Blizzard, and if it's a good company for you guys to get into and invest in. So let's get into this right now. I got everything that I really wanted to talk about written down here so you guys can look at it. But really, if you guys don't know, Activision Blizzard, big, huge creator of video games. They make some of the top video games out there, and I wrote some notable games here. We have Call of Duty. So for Activision itself, Activision Blizzard split up, or it's two companies, but they were conjoined together. So for just Activision, notable games, they have Call of Duty and Destiny. I wrote a little question mark by Destiny because I'm not sure exactly where that game series is headed towards right now. Destiny 1 was a huge hit. It was I think it was the most downloaded game of all time on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So that was a great hit for them. But Destiny 2 right now, not what everyone expected. Everyone's not really liking that game. But we'll see coming up. They're putting more expansions out. So Destiny 2 and Call of Duty, they also have their side company called King. They make Candy Crush, just online mobile apps, mobile games. So King make Candy Crush, mobile game, and then you have Blizzard, which I think is a huge part of the profits that they make. And they have Hearthstone, Overwatch, and of course everyone's heard of World of Warcraft. So Activision Blizzard is a great company with a lot of these great games. But where are they heading in the future? Where do I think they're going to go to? Well, a big part of the future, in my opinion, is going to be esports. Now, I'll talk about esports probably at the end of the video. I want to get through everything else, but definitely, if you guys know a lot about esports, that's definitely probably one of the best things about this stock and where it could go, possibly past other gaming stocks. But first, we're going to go and look at some breakdowns here. Activision is 39%. So the company Activision that makes Call of Duty and Destiny, they have 39% of the revenues that Activision makes. Blizzard has 32%, and King has 29%. Now, a lot of that is pretty similar. Now, when you're looking at it, when I look at these three companies, I look at Activision makes console games. So for PS4 and Xbox One is what Activision. I don't even think that do they have any games on the Switch yet? They might bring. I know they've had Call of Duty games in the past on Nintendo consoles, but basically Activision is console gaming, and they're mostly around Call of Duty. Now they've had Crash Bandicoot come out, a great remake set, and they're also remaking Spyro the Dragon. So they're trying to get a lot of the older games and remake them, which is pretty good, but it's not going to result in anything like Call of Duty does, making millions of dollars each and every single year. But Activision with the console makes about 39%. Now Blizzard, they're predominantly PC. They also have Overwatch on PS4 and Xbox One as well, but predominantly they are PC with World of Warcraft and Hearthstone, and then obviously Overwatch there. So Blizzard makes up 32%, but I think that's going to grow just exponentially. I think over the next few years, Blizzard's going to grow, and it's going to be taking over that 39% Activision has. And then we have King right here at 29%, making Candy Crush and other mobile games. It was actually surprising when I was looking at the numbers down here. For monthly active users, we have 290 million for King, compared to 55 million for Activision and 40 million for Blizzard. Now, obviously, if you're playing Candy Crush once a month, that's going to account for that 200. You're going to be one of those 290 million people. So if you are playing a mobile game, a lot of people pick up mobile games just like that. They play for 5 minutes and they'll get off. So that's where that 290 million comes from. But numbers have been, I'm not sure. I couldn't remember if they've been down for Blizzard over the past, year, just because World of Warcraft hasn't had like a huge expansion the past year. They just released one, I think last month it was last month. It's May now. It was last month. They just made a huge expansion for World of Warcraft. So those numbers will definitely jump, in my opinion. And then Activision at 55 million. So those numbers were from the 2017 earnings review. So this is where I got all this information. They just did is it quarter one or quarter two earnings reviews? I think it's quarter one. I think it was quarter one's earnings was yesterday. Could be wrong. It could be two. But anyway, no, yeah, it was earning one. It was earning one because they hit $1.38 billion in revenue in the first quarter, which was expected. I think the expected was like 1.3 billion. So they beat the expected, and in quarter two they're expecting 1.35 is what the company is saying, but Wall Street I think said they wanted to get 1.5. So they're definitely down right now in revenue for the second quarter is what they're expecting. But their average PE ratio here. So let's go on to do a little bit of some statistics here. So the PE ratio is 182.75 as of today. We had that was their growth, or not their growth, their PE ratio. So a high PE ratio, it could be good or bad. When I look at a high PE ratio, I see, well, the company is not as stable as a lot of other companies. So when you look at, I think Netflix has a high one. Facebook had a high one as well. Don't quote me on that, but I know when you have a high PE ratio, your company is either, they're kind of straddling along, trying to get ground, or it's gonna show you growth. So what I like to see when I see a high PE ratio and I see a good company like Activision, I think, okay, this stock's gonna grow. It's gonna get pretty expensive here. Now we're at 69.20 right now, and we're at a 31% increase over the past year. So what I like about this stock compared to other gaming stocks, we have Take-Two Interactive, I think, is at 120, and the other one's blowing. EA Sports, not EA Sports, EA is at 100. So Activision is actually about $30 to $50 less than other gaming stocks, and I like Activision more. I'm going to go in detail over the other two gaming stocks as well, and then I'm going to do a video over the gaming industry as a whole. That way we can see where the gaming industry is going, and if we cannot invest in the gaming industry over the next few years, I think it's going to be a huge investment opportunity. But right now we're getting a dividend yield of 0.4724, which comes out to about 0.3 to 0.35 cents annually. It's not a huge dividend. I wouldn't really worry about the dividend, but if you are worried, there it is. And there's the EPS of 7.56%. So when we look at last year, Blizzard and Activision Blizzard, whatever, their operating income was actually best. It was their best year that they had. And Blizzard, as you can see here, had no major game release. They did not have anything major. Hearthstone and World of Warcraft, actually no, not Hearthstone. World of Warcraft didn't have an expansion. They had Overwatch, and Hearthstone did have their few mini expansions here, but they had no major game release, and it was their best operating income year. Along with Activision, they didn't have anything big other than Call of Duty. They did have Destiny 2, but it wasn't very big. It was not a huge drop. And even with that, not a huge drop, they still had their best operating income. And then right here, Candy Crush was up. That was their main source of income there. So when we look at all of this together, the price at $69.20 I think is a very good price to get into. As of making this video at in the morning here, what's today? Let me put the date on here. It is Friday, May 5th, 2018. It was $69.20. So that's really all the information I wanted to get into. But why do I think Activision could be a great stock in the future? Esports. I made it right here. Esports. Boom. This is why I think it's going to be big. So let's go over a little bit about esports. Even if you haven't heard of it, Major League Gaming. So if you have your ESPN app or any kind of sports app, you might have something at the bottom of your categories, whatever games. There is an MLG, so it's Major League Gaming, and that's what esports is. So a lot of people are getting more into the idea of watching video games on TV than watching actual sports, football, basketball, baseball. And actually the League of Legends championships had more viewers than the Super Bowl. Now, League of Legends is global, it's international, it's not just football. I mean, the Super Bowl is pretty much just the United States. But anyway, the League of Legends Championship had more views than the Super Bowl, which is pretty amazing in my opinion. So when you look at esports and the games that Activision has in the esports arena, they have the Overwatch League, which now has a $90 million deal with the streaming giant Twitch. So if you guys know anything about gaming, anything about streaming, Twitch is where it's at. They have a $90 million deal with them. They also have sponsorship deals with HP and Intel. HP with $17 million and Intel with $10 million. And they also have a Call of Duty League. So you have an Overwatch League and a Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League just happened, I think, a couple of weeks ago or last month in Seattle, Washington. So they have about, for their esports has about 10 million viewers per month and tens of $millions in revenue. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good sum of money for just like people watching sports on streams. So I think esports is going to be a big thing, especially with Activision Blizzard, because Activision, look at the games that we have here. So I'm going to mark them. Call of Duty. World of Warcraft can't be esports just because it's not the type of game it can't be. So we have Call of Duty, Overwatch, Hearthstone. 3 of their top, 6 notable games here. So half their notable games can be esports. And if you want to put in maybe Destiny, I highly doubt it could get into the esports arena. But if it turns around somehow, there could be Destiny leagues. So when you look at this and the games that Activision and Blizzard is putting out, they have, let's not even worry about Candy Crush. So 5 out of the 6, World of Warcraft can't even be. It's an open world RPG. So really, all the games that they made that have the style to become esports games, 3 out of the 4 are already games in the esports arena. So when you look at it, I think in the next, I would say 2 to 5 years could be a huge investment opportunity to invest in Activision, especially at, I don't even know what I'm drawing here. I think a star, that's a star. But at the 69.20 mark, there's a star. At the 69.20 mark, so we're at about $70. That is a great place to get into. I had, I think, 3 shares, and I think I was under $70 on all of them when I sold off at like 73. I think I sold 72, something like that. But definitely looking to get back into buying some shares, guys. So if you have any questions about Activision, about the stock itself, I really wrote down what I think would be good to talk about. Really, the esports is the most important thing in my opinion. Over the next 2 to 5 years, I think we're going to see an explosion of people watching more sports, and there's going to be more esports coming out. A lot more sponsorship deals are going to be able to come out. So I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see some big movements. And I think if Activision can hit that $80 mark, I think right when it hits 80, it's going to spring to 100. It's just automatic guarantee $100 right there, in my opinion. So the only thing that I could see stopping Activision in the short term. So if you guys invested in this price right here, and it sticks or goes up or down a few dollars and doesn't continue to move, the only thing I can think of that will stop it, I'm going to write it right here. If you guys can see it, I wrote it as big as possible right here. That's a very small, okay. Fortnite. So, if you know anything about games, Fortnite, I'm pretty sure you've heard it. It's the most downloaded free game of all time. It's going to be one of the most, it's the biggest game ever. And I know you guys have heard of it. So, when they were reporting their earnings, I was reading a couple of the comments and everything that some people were saying, and they said something that could really stop the growth or the monthly users was a huge thing of something like Overwatch or Call of Duty and Destiny, because those 3 games aren't just like Fortnite, but they're shooters. They're Fortnite type games. So when you're looking at your shooters, if Fortnite takes away Destiny completely, because we're going to erase Candy Crush too. So Destiny, it's on its last legs right now. If they don't fix it, it's gonna be a dead game, right? Overwatch is a different style game, but I don't know. I don't think Fortnite can take away Overwatch. Overwatch is a different style, and I don't think it can. Call of Duty. Let's get rid of Call of Duty here. World of Warcraft. Not a game. So if it gets rid of Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is actually trying to become like Fortnite. They're putting a Battle Royale game mode in. So say Fortnite takes over and Call of Duty, people stop playing Call of Duty altogether because Fortnite took over. You're left with two, Overwatch and Hearthstone. That is still two games, long-term potential, and even if you do have COD in there as a third one, you have 3 games, possibly 4 with Destiny. That could definitely go in the next 2 to 5 years. We'll see how Fortnite does, but in the long term, guys, I think Activision is a great stock to buy into right now. If you guys agree with me, hit that like button. Comment down below what you guys think. If you guys have any more comments, anything to say about this. I hope you guys enjoyed my first video. We're definitely going to come back with more videos. We're going to be doing more stock market radar here. I'm going to be doing a lot about how I make my money, and yeah, basically all that, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.